Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, today here I want to tell you guys the story of one of the tale of character in the Islamic history. So I might tell you one of the people that successfully bring Islamic to revolution. Okay, uh, this one is named Ibnu Hajar. He's not actually named Ibnu Hajar, but it's kunyah from the people on the Mecca. So they have like a nickname for him. He's not like a prophet or Nabi Muhammad's friends. He's just an ordinary people that want to learn, to gain a knowledge. A few years after our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay, here's the story. Ibnu Hajar, he was born in Cairo in 113 and 72, the son of Shafi'i scholar and poet Nur ad-Din Ali. Yeah, so we know Imam Shafi'i was born few years after Nabi Muhammad, yet he also have a huge motivation to gain knowledge. So as one of the Imam Shafi'i's student, Ibnu Hajar, and then Ibnu Hajar parents had moved from Alexandria, originally hailing from Ascalon, but the people ordinarily call it Asqalan. Both of his parents died in his infancy, and he and his sister, Siti Arrok, became wards of his father's first wife brother, Zaki ad-Din al-Karubi, who enrolled Ibnu Hajar in Quranic studies when he was 5 years old. Here he excelled learning Surah Maryam in a single day and memorizing the entire Quran by the age of 9. Imagine 9, you already memorize all the book, and then he progressed to the memorization of texts such as the abridged version of Ibnu al-Hajib's work on the foundation of fiqh, the knowledge about something you want to do in Islamic. When he accompanied al-Karubi to Mecca at the age of 12, sorry, it's another loud motorcycle. He accompanied al-Karubi to Mecca at the age of 12. He was considered competent to lead the Tarawih prayers during Ramadan. When his guardian died in 1806, Ibnu Hajar's education in Egypt was entrusted to hadith scholar Shams ad-Din Ibnu al-Qatan, who entered him in the courses given by Sirajuddin al-Bulaqini, that died in 1404, and Siraj ad-Din al-Mulaqin died in 1402 in Shafi'i fiqh, and Zain al-Din al-Iraqi died 1404 in hadith. After which he traveled to Damascus and Jerusalem to study under Syamsuddin al-Qashandi, died in 1407. Badr al-Din al-Balisi died 1401, and Fatima bint al-Manja at-Tanukia. After a further visit to Mecca, Medina, and Yemen, he returned to Egypt. Al-Suyuti said, it is said that he drank Zamzam water in order to reach level of Ad-Dahabi in memorization, which he succeeded in doing, even surpassing him. Imagine a student surpassing the skill of your teacher. What teacher that didn't proud of him? This Ibnu Hajar. Actually, uh, the thing that I want to tell you Ibnu Hajar's story is because one of the story that famous that many people around the world like taking the quotes from him because his experience to gain knowledge. Even all of the people in al-Muslim remember, not remember. Now this is story. Here's the story. The story of Ibnu Hajar al-Asqalani is very well known in various parts of the world, especially among Muslims. The story of Ibnu Hajar has also become an inspiration of many people. So if you wanted to motivate yourself, you can remember this story once again. Santri, santri, or people studying at Islamic boarding schools are certainly no stranger to these great figures and scholars. One of the well-known and very popular stories among students and Muslim scholars is when he studied. So the motivation is when he studied. So when you try to give up or anything else, you can, based on study experience, you can read the story. Ibn Hajar was originally known as unwise student. Even he started from an unwise, become one of the most famous people amongst Muslim, because he's known as an unwise student because he had studied for a long time but had not been able to gain any knowledge until one day he felt hopeless until he finally wanted to stop reciting the Quran and go home. So in one of the place he studied, he trying to study at least Quran or fiqh or anything else, but after he tried, there nothing was planned on his head. Like for days, for months, for years, nothing was entered his head. No knowledge. Until one day he felt hopeless until he finally wanted to stop reciting Quran and go home once again. However, several times Ibn Hajar begged to go home to his teacher, but he did not allow him and told him to keep studying. But I think that's not how you treat a pelajar like that. Actually, if one of your students was trying hard and one day he say something to you that he want to do something, you don't have to accept it langsung. So you don't either have to refuse his wish, not agree to it, but you have to analyze what's the reason behind the wish, like that. And then until finally, because he kept asking to go home, the teacher allowed him and advised him to never stop studying wherever he was. And okay, that's the way how you treat your student. And then part of the story Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, which inspired many educationists, start from here when he was on his way home. During the return of his trip, Ibn Hajar took a shelter in a cave because of the heavy rain, and it was not possible to continue his journey. Because the rain didn't let up, he decided to rest longer in the cave and go deeper. So he was like just sitting in the mouth of the cave, seeing the rain, and when the rain didn't stop, he go further inside. After going deeper, Ibn Hajar heard the gurgling of water, and he saw it. It turned out that the water had been dripping on the large rock for a very long time. He could see that the big stone has holes because it is constantly exposed to water droplets. Ibn Hajar began to reflect on his learning process and his way of thinking. Ibn Hajar thought that his brain or mind is certainly not harder than a rock. A larger hard rock can be hauled out by soft water. So why can't his brain contain just a few knowledge about the Islam, the inside of the Quran. Even a rock can get a hole by just a droplet of water, then always drop on top of it. According to him, it is impossible for his brain to have no marks at all if he constantly learns and forgets it with science. So he compared his brain with his rock and compared the droplets water with knowledge from the POV of science. The story of Ibn Hajar Asqalani is in taking learning process continues, because after that he discouraged going home and returned to his teacher to study. After seeing that motivation, the sign from God, starting from here, he has a great enthusiasm for learning and continues to seek knowledge until he finally masters a lot of knowledge. From this story, he also gets the nickname Ibnu Hajar, which in English means son of the rock. Good, 11 minutes. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you for listening. I don't wear my usual uniform file because this is weekend and I forget to record the SKL since I was sick that time. Okay, thank you for listening. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.